Yeah, this is a very, very big update, and I need everyone to do me a favor. You got to watch this video to the end because there's a lot that's going to be packed in here, okay? And then I need you to share this with your friends. The U.S. Supreme Court has scheduled for oral argument on October 15th. This is like the first 2 weeks that they are back. The rehearing in the Louisiana redistricting case. This is an enormous deal. It looks like the U.S. Supreme Court may be trying to not only undermine the Voting Rights Act, potentially going so far as to overturn Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, but they are trying to do it on an expedited schedule, presumably because they know the 2026 midterms stand in front of all of us. This Supreme Court case has the potential to undo Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act. We all know about Shelby County. We all know that the Supreme Court in 2013 undid and gutted Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act. That provision said that if you were in a jurisdiction in a state with a history of discriminating against minority voters, before you could change your voting rules, you had to get pre-clearance from the Department of Justice or a court in Washington, D.C. The thing that is oftentimes not as focused on is the remaining key provision of the Voting Rights Act, Section 2. What does that do? That applies nationwide. And it says that if you engage in voting discrimination against minority voters, those laws, those actions can be undone. And it has become the central tool that is used to prevent Republican gerrymandering, to screw over and discriminate against minority voters. If this goes away, then states like Alabama, Louisiana, Florida, Georgia, Texas, they will be able to enact new maps that just run roughshod over minority voters in ways that are unimaginable to us today. So everybody needs to be paying attention to this case. Everybody needs to be following it on Democracy Doc, the website I created, and everybody needs to be watching these videos and really educating themselves and their friends. That the Supreme Court term, which doesn't begin until the beginning of October, this case has been put at the very beginning. Like, this case could have been scheduled in October, could have been scheduled in November, December, or even January. The Supreme Court is having this be one of the very first cases that it hears this term. And one of the reasons that may be is because they want a decision to be able to be issued early in the term, early in 2026, because there will be midterm elections. And if they were to strike down the Voting Rights Act, you could see Republican states all across the Deep South and potentially elsewhere decide to redraw their maps and draw out of existence existing Black and Hispanic opportunity districts that right now, if they tried to do, would violate the Voting Rights Act.